What's up everybody? Brian here in the Gecko Lab on a snowy day here in Colorado. This is your weekly hatchling report. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Friday everybody. I hope you're having a great time. I hope you're staying warm if your weather's anything like mine. It is a cold, snowy day with more snow to come this weekend here in Colorado, but as my favorite saying goes, it is always sunny and 78 in the Gecko Lab. So I'm excited, I'm having a good day. This of course is the weekly hatchling report, my show where we go over a few geckos, show you some of my recent hatchlings from the season, talk about them, and I also tell you any stories, news in the gecko world, what I've got going on in my life. We just kind of go over it all and have a good time. Today, the name of the game is photography. So first of all, I have spent this entire week doing nothing but taking photos. Taking geckos? No, I make the geckos, and then I'm taking photos of them. Check this out. So I have taken over 1,200 photos this week alone of about 220-ish geckos. This is all in preparation for my enormous coming Thanksgiving week Black Friday sale. If you followed me at all, you know that is my biggest sale of the year. I usually put about 300 geckos up for sale, and I also have the best discounts of the year. So stay tuned because there's a lot more to come about that. I'm not going to dig into it today, but you're going to want to pay attention. It's going to be huge. Also in the line of photography, in my last report, if you guys watched, you would have seen me talking about I was about to go on a trip to St. Lucia, and I was excited because it was the first time I was going to be able to use my new dive housing for my camera setup. I'm a huge photography enthusiast. I love photography, and in that video I even showed you one of my books. I make photo books from all the places I travel in the world. I showed you my Komodo book last time. Well, I am proud to report that I now have a St. Lucia book. My photography exploits in St. Lucia, underwater, dive housing went fantastically. It honestly went way better than I expected. So this dive housing is, well, it's kind of gigantic and a little bit ridiculous, and well, it's huge. It's like 35 pounds and the entire setup is this big when I have it, and it's gangly and giant, and I thought, oh my goodness, I spent all this money on this and it's such a pain to travel with it, and I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna hate using it, and I'm not gonna get any good photos, and I'm gonna be frustrated and upset, and I'm super proud to report that was not the case. It was actually extremely easy to use compared to what I thought it was going to be, and I was excited. I got some great photos. I'm not going to bore you with them now because I know you guys are going, Brian, shut up, get to the geckos. That's why we're here. But at the end of this video, I'm going to put a slide of some of my favorite photos I got underwater in St. Lucia on my dive trip. It was incredible. I had such a great time. I got sunburned. You have no idea how nice that feels coming from fall in Colorado where it's cold and icky and gross, and I have seasonal depression. I hate it. And to go lay on a beach, get sunburned, scuba dive, and hang out in the jungles underlooking in the shadow of the pitons of St. Lucia, it was fantastic. So I'm proud to report that was a great time. I'm super happy that I got another book to add to my bookshelf of travel places I've been. But that's enough about me. That's enough about my travels. Let's get into looking at some geckos, shall we? So I've picked out 5 geckos to share with you today. These are all geckos that are 2024 hatchlings, most of them relatively recent. I picked them out because I liked them. I want to show them to you, and we're going to talk about why I like them so much. Let me know if you like them too. That's the whole reason we're here. We all love geckos. Well, maybe you're here and you don't love geckos. That's a little weird, but hey, you do you. I'm not here to judge. First up, I've got this Dalmatian. I love this. It's like an extreme tiger Dalmatian. That's not like an official designation. It just looks really extremely tigery. I love the big black spots in combination with the bold, crazy tiger markings, the bright orange color. This one is sitting about 5 grams right now. So I imagine when it grows up, if that color holds and those tiger markings hold, if it has this many spots at 5 grams, it's gonna be loaded with spots when it gets older. I can't wait to see how it turns out. The color really caught my eye when I was feeding babies earlier this morning. I thought, I've got to show that one off. So here we are. I love it. Do you love it? Let me know. Real quick, I want to take a moment to let you guys know this video is brought to you by freegeckogiveaways.com. Freegeckogiveaways.com is your one-stop shop for all of your Crested Gecko diet, caging supplies, merch, and more. Every dollar spent is one entry to win our grand prize with a new grand prize approximately every 6 weeks. There is always something to win, and shipping is free on every order. Our featured product of the day is, of course, the hanging vines. We have these back in stock today at freegeckogiveaways.com with free shipping on every order. Go pick one up, give your gecko something to climb around on, and you might just win our grand prize as well. All right, moving right along to gecko number 2 in today's video, another one that caught my eye while I was feeding today, this Axanthic Lily White. A few things I want to highlight about this one. It doesn't have very much of that highlighter gene. I like this one because it is more of a traditional black and white. It lacks that highlighter gene that sometimes puts that bright neon yellow color. I personally prefer the highlighters. I love that neon yellow. It is so beautiful, but it's nice to have some that don't have it as well. And this one caught my eye for that. It's also low pattern, which I really like in the Axanthic Lily Whites because you get more of that black base color, makes the pattern pop. The dark head stamp is nice. I always love when their fingers are rimmed by that white, like they're wearing Michael Jackson gloves or something. Just a cool gecko. I really like this one. The sides are so thick. That thick white pattern on the sides, the contrast on these never ceases to amaze me. And Axanthic Lily White, you know I had to throw one in there. Gecko number 3 for today's video is this Extreme Harlequin Tricolor. I really like this one. The name of the game here is structure. Look at, just on this first picture, how tall the eyelashes are on this guy. His eyelash structure is ridiculous. The head is giant and floppy and the crests are super long. The pinning structure down the back is great. And of course, there's the color. My goodness, the color on this gecko is 10 out of 10, absolutely gorgeous. This is gonna be a really high-end tricolor when it grows up. I can't wait to watch it progress and grow. If it looks this good when it's this young, imagine what this thing's gonna look like as an adult. I love it so much. I'm so happy to share it with you, and I can't wait to see it grow up. So the next gecko I picked out to share with you is one of the first of this combination I've ever hatched. So this comes from an empty back bred to a Frappuccino, and what I have here is a Cappuccino empty back. I really, really like this one. The color is so deep yet so rich. It is so dark, but that Cappuccino gene has taken out all of the cream on the dorsal and left that super vibrant, overly saturated orange color behind. I've had my eye on this one since the day it hatched. I remember that day, I saw it and I went, oh my, that is something special right there. I still believe it's that special. I'm looking at this and just the white tips on the pins going down, but the rest of it is so dark and saturated with color. This is why I love the Cappuccino gene right here. I cannot wait to see what else we can do with this gene, to expand it, to make more combinations, to see what else that this can unlock in the gecko world. It is so exciting, and geckos right here are exactly why. All right, so I've got one more gecko to show you today, and this one I really, really like for one specific reason. It confused me for a little bit when it first hatched out. So when this gecko hatched out, my workers labeled it as an Axanthic because of the pairing it came out of. That was a probable result of this pairing. They looked at it, solid gray gecko. They labeled it as an Axanthic, and it wasn't until it grew up a little bit that I looked at it and I noticed, look right here, you see that really thin white line along the bottom line there? That's actually a very, very low expression phantom Axanthic Lily White. I love Axanthic Lily Whites. As I just said with the last Axanthic Lily White we looked at, I love the low pattern ones because it makes the contrast pop more. I like when you have more black and just a few white accents on a high contrast Axanthic Lily White animal. This I think is super cool. It's so low pattern, you can barely tell it's a Lily White, but it does have that little bit, just one faint little brush stroke right across the side of its lats there. I think it is so cool. It's so subtle and so special. I had to finally throw it into a video and show it off for you guys. That is my last gecko for today's weekly hatchling report. All right, everybody, that's gonna do it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with me. I hope everybody has a fantastic Friday. I appreciate you being here. As always, visit altitudeexotics.com for all your geckos and freegeckogiveaways.com for all your gecko needs. I will see you in the next video. Be safe, be kind to each other. I'll see you soon. Thank you.